Hey everyone, Brew United here. Today I want to show you how I started this YouTube channel, how I edit content, and how I capture video game footage. If you're an absolute beginner at these things, this could be the perfect video for you to watch. Please stick around. I think to start the video I should probably say that this is the way that I got started. Is it the most cost-effective or perhaps even the best way to get started? Probably not, but I had to get up and running, and you need to learn a lot of things in a short period of time, so you go with what works. My hope for this video is you'll find a few tips and tricks that I had to stumble across or bump my head or stub my toe, what have you. And also for some more seasoned veterans to come into the comments and maybe help us all. So how I wanted to get started on YouTube was actually a little bit more advanced than just recording myself talking. It was actually showing video game content from my youth, as you probably have seen in my first video. This turned out to be not as straightforward as I initially thought. Video game capture is an art upon itself. If you ask me what the hardest part of this journey has been so far, it's converting all of the game footage from all the different generations of consoles into digital content from analog, and how to do that. The device I found to accomplish this was the RetroTink 2X Pro. I chose the RetroTink because Mike Chi, who owns the company, has a mission to convert legacy video game formats to digital and seems to do it pretty well. Let's start our journey with Atari's coax RF connector. Not exactly the simplest thing to get connected from analog to digital. And one of the easiest ways is honestly picking up an old VCR and plugging it into there. What we would then do is to take the composite out from the back of the VCR directly into the RetroTink. After that lovely workaround there with the VCR, you're going to have a much easier time with composite video. The yellow, the red, and the white plug directly into the back of the RetroTink as well. Starting to see a theme here? On this next episode of How Does It Connect, it's S-Video, which is PS1, PS2, and also Xbox. Much easier, direct plug-in to the RetroTink. You guessed it. And before I send you to the final stages of REM sleep, the last thing we'll talk about is component cables. Those will plug also directly into the RetroTink, and were part of the Xbox 360 and I believe also PS3 generations. Now that we've converted all of the analog signal into digital, we're going to want a device to connect to. The device I chose was the ElGato HD60 S. So far we've talked about coax RF, the VCR hack, all the way through composite, S-Video, and ultimately component. And if you remember, the reason why we cared about those was converting all of those analog signals to digital, and the reason why we're converting it to digital is to connect that digital feed into the HDMI port. This allows us to create content either for streaming or for also producing videos like you see here. This game is Suikoden 3, captured from PS2 footage via S-Video. I then took that S-Video into the RetroTink that you probably have already guessed. Then I took the digital feed from the RetroTink via HDMI into the ElGato, and the USB connector on the ElGato, a direct digital feed into my PC, where I was able to capture this via Game Capture HD. Game Capture HD is a free application by ElGato. I've found it really easy to use, and it automatically hooks up as soon as you turn on one of your consoles, and it detects a USB 3 connection. You can do basically anything you want with the file.
Brew, I want to stream it!
Don't worry, this solution covers you too. If you open up your favorite OBS, you can connect source, and you're in business. You can stream with live retro gaming. So if you're not going to stream it, you're probably thinking, hey, I am home free. Oh, my sweet summer child. Now you need to look at the next chapter, which is video game editing. The two products that I found to do this, and the two products I'm currently using, are Filmora and DaVinci Resolve. For these first three videos, I've actually used Filmora almost 99% of the time. However, I can start to see that there will be some limitations that I'll run into with some of the more advanced features that I want to add to this channel. The reason why I started with Filmora is it is extremely easy to use for a beginner. and I knew absolutely nothing about video game editing, video editing, or really any editing. I knew nothing about it. DaVinci is a little less approachable. However, I can say that now I've started using Filmora. A lot of the concepts are becoming very familiar to me, and I've started dabbling in that. So these videos may switch over to DaVinci. I may use both. That may be a later video. Not quite sure at this time. By now you're probably thinking, hey, Brew, you didn't mention PS4 or you didn't mention Xbox One. That's right, because those systems natively connect via HDMI, plug it in the back of the ElGato, and you're able to do all the things that I've talked about earlier. And some of you may also be thinking, you know, there are a few easier ways, Brew. You could get online, you can download some ROMs, or you could use a Retron 5, which has an HDMI output. Yes, I do have a Retron 5 on my lap at all times. Yeah, that's true as well. However, I wanted to challenge myself to be able to hook up these legacy systems that I've collected for decades and get them online and show you how to do it. So that's the main purpose of this video. Due to the technical nature of this video, I hope my couple of bits of humor kept you awake. And if you liked the video, I'd really appreciate a like. And if the content is something you're interested in, I'd also really appreciate you subscribing to the channel. Thank you very much. Have a great one.